You guys already know what time it is. It is Shit Talking Sundays fitness tip of the. No, I'm just kidding. It is in the light of the MS Warrior. That's right. We're making a change. We're adding the MS Warrior to it because in the light of a warrior, it's technically an MS Warrior right now. So we're gonna bring to you the MS Warrior because we don't need to beat around the bush. You know what it is. If you've been tuning in for the last 365 days that we've been on doing this, um, you knew the routine. So this is not medical advice. This is just one warrior's journey with MS. And if you have a medical emergency, please call 911, consult your doctor before even thinking about doing anything that you hear here, because this is not medical advice. And with that being said, let's bring you the MS Warrior. Pete, what up?
Hey, good evening, AG. How are you?
Man, I'm always doing great. Every
Good,
time I
good,
do
good.
a podcast, I'm feeling like I'm doing my part in society to bring forth some type of knowledge to help somebody get past something that might
Right.
be ailing them.
Yes, that always makes you leaves you feeling good,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Yes, exactly. Hey guys, good evening out there. Welcome to our show tonight. In the light of an MS warrior is yours truly. So let me tell you guys first off. Let me get this out of the way because I always got to do this. Um, Anything I say tonight on the podcast regarding any medications that I may be on, I'm not telling you or giving you any advice to go out and grab you some and start taking that. Always turn to your medical team. They know what's best for you. What is good for me may not be good for you. What's good for you may not be good for me. So, always consult your medical team, guys. And if you feel you are in a emergency, please call 911. Reach out to family or friend. Okay, so that's out the way. So, hey, one thing I wanted to mention real quick, AG, is I was watching another podcast of yours the other day. It's new. It's not Sensible Sherry, and it's not with Vince the Beast. I think it's just on some worldly stuff, daily stuff. And I noticed Jason was in there.
Oh, yeah. Jason,
Yeah, right
he tuned
on.
in. Hey, man, much love to
Right,
Griffin for
right.
tuning in. Shout
Yeah.
out to him. What is it? Jason the Impaler.
Yes, yes. Yeah, he's from my page. Thank you, Jason,
Thank
for
you for
yeah,
yeah.
supporting Shit Talking Sundays, and of course with me as well. Yours truly, the MS Warrior. So, uh, thank you, Jason, for spreading that. With AG's channel and stuff. That's terrific. So, guys, you know, um, through all this, and I'm speaking of myself because I'm like, wow, I could have had a V8. Why haven't I thought of this? So, and it doesn't matter how long you've been stricken with MS or any chronic illness, guys, and this goes widespread medically. um Especially when it comes to your health, it doesn't matter what disease it is, if it's chronic, um, it doesn't matter. But I think, from my perspective, you should know everything about that, as much as you could know that's out there to absorb about your illness, your health. Period. So I was thinking today, and I was like, man, what am I going to talk about? I've been really sidetracked this week. I've got so many projects going on. If you could see my office right now, it's like bananas in here. And I can't show you guys anything because people may be watching and it's surprises upon surprises. So once that happens, then I could share my craftiness with everyone. Um, but so I've been sidetracked and just doing a lot of stuff. And if, into a couple days after the last podcast Tuesday, I hadn't been feeling good. like I keep getting hit with this wave of not feeling well, and just like this overwhelming tiredness comes over me, and it's all like kind of in my head. And then I'm like, what the fudge is this about? It's new, I tell you. Then the stomach thing kicked up again. Oh my God, guys. Yeah. So, and just talking about it right now kind of is overwhelming me. So let me reel myself back in and only think about one thing at a time. So what I was going to say is 5.5 years for me since diagnosis, since first relapse, since diagnosis, all in one. Okay. Did two birds with one stone. Lucky me, right? I'd rather had the bird just turn around and throw the stone at me, right? And I'd run away and be trot happily ever after. No, but that wasn't the case. But so I was doing a little read today. I was feeling kind of crunched because I was like, oh man, usually I take a bunch of my notes that I go through during the week and always share that with you, the good and the bad. This week, the only thing really is still kind of plaguing me a little bit is my stomach, and my left foot. Every Now today, I woke up put my foot down on the bed. I didn't have that sharp pain just in that left foot bone that felt like it was broke. My left leg today wasn't bothered as much. Last night before I went to bed, I wanted to remove it. It was that annoying, and I was getting actually ticked off. I was trying to sleep. I was tired, and the left leg, I had to get up and stretch it, and I wish I could have threw it out the window, but then I would have to go out the window, retrieve it in the morning, and connect it back so I could walk. So no, I don't want to do that. But that's how irritated I was with this friggin' leg yesterday evening. But let me get back to as I'm saying. So with these years, 5.5 years, it didn't dawn on me till today. Now, I'm a sponge. I research, so I know a lot of symptoms that come with MS, right? Just as you warriors, you guys do, because we have to know these things. And when we're going through them, we have to tell our doctor, of course. And then the doctor says, hey, well, you need this test, this test, this test, and blah, blah, blah. And that's what makes them start, looking and, exiting some other diseases out. And then boils down to one or two, and they start running tests, and then they say, oh, okay, here's the culprit. Well, it didn't dawn on me until I did a read today, a quick read. And I don't know about you guys, but me, I don't know exactly all placement of my damage, meaning from the MS in my brain. I know I have lesions right and left side of brain, down my neck and down my spine. Yes, they say I have several. So thank you, Jesus, for allowing me to get up every morning and walk. Because a lot of warriors aren't as fortunate and have less lesions than myself and are bed bound or wheelchair bound so I owe the man above a thank you for my blessings. Give you the glory. I've never asked my doctor and never put two and two together on where my damage is in my MRI and what part of that does it affect my body. Now I know, and in this, it's weird because every warrior suffers a deficit predominantly on the left side, never the right. Some do. I'm not saying everybody, guys, but there is. But warriors I talk to and warriors I see, it's always they suffer the left deficit, and it's like why it is does the MS attack that particular spot, right? To affect, you know, the left side out of all everything in our body. Why does it go after that particular spot? Is it vulnerable to the disease? You know, so I'm going to start a big research read for this. And also, I think it's very imperative for each one of us warriors to find out what our scans exactly mean and how does that affect our body. Whatever damage is showing on your MRI, and do your own research on that part of your body. Where does it affect you? That may give you some reassurance maybe, or just now, personally speaking, and I have some answers to my questions that I've read today, and because I always give you guys stuff that applies to me. Okay, so I lost my train of thought that with that, but um if I suddenly lose mobility in my right arm, right hand, of course I'm going to freak out. Anybody would. There's so many other things that can go wrong with our brain that can mess with our um, mobility, right? Stroke, all kinds of stuff. So for me, I've learned over, I would say 2-3 years now, 2.5, 3 years, that when I'm woke out of my sleep, waking out of, how do you say that? When I'm awoke out of my sleep, um, over me, my body wakes me up because I'm feeling sick. I used to panic. And I'm sure that if something, again, were to be, bad, pretty heavy duty, it wake me out of my sleep. And then for me to really collect my scruples, you know how we wake up, we're just all discombobulated. And it could be a very, very scary thing. I have done that so many times, guys, in my 5.5 years of being diagnosed with this disease. And in the beginning, let's say the first 3 years, um, I used to be woken out of my sleep feeling really bad. And I don't know if it was the medicine back then that I was on that was making my heart race, um, anxiety, all kind of stuff compiled in my little basket, right, that I call my life. So many things on top of the MS. The medication can cause anxiety, depression, all kinds of things. Heat flashes on top of menopause. I mean, we're stricken, with a lot of things that come with meds, let alone our disease, as if it wasn't enough. But I've learned to not panic, and I've learned more and more about the disease and how it can affect my body, my brain, and I have taught myself to be able to deal with those things when they happen. That's why I think it's so important. And I don't know why I didn't think of this long time ago, like in my diagnosis, right? We can ask all the questions, we could see our MRI results, the film, we can have all that info. Um, so I want to know when, even if nothing happens, but if something does, with my symptoms that are new, I can think or know automatically, hey, well, where I have nerve damage, this is a possibility that I'm going to have issues, neuro, neurological, neurologically issues, my mobility. It could be anything, just anything, guys. So to know that I may have, my answer will keep me calm, be able to deal with what's at hand going through that, or just to know. And if it's not, you may think and say, well, I better call 911, or I better go to the emergency. So I think the more information we have on our disease and how our body's going to react to it, what it's capable of doing, to our body, it might ease you a little bit to know, yes, this is from the disease. Oh, it's new, but this is, could be from the MS. So what I've done is wrote down the things that come with MS that affect me. And I'm sure I'll touch, some things that you warriors out there that go through too, because we share a lot of similar symptoms. And there's so many symptoms that some of us only suffer 3 or 4 when there could be 15. So it's MS affects a wide spectrum. If just imagine, it affects your brain and your spinal cord. So that controls everything, everything, everything. So um for me, okay, it says, what does MS do to your face? Okay. So, and it gives you medically the answers. And then I'm going to elaborate and share my experience on that, because I'm not exempt. No, sorry, I'm not exempt. And I suffer an experience just like you warriors out there too. So it says, what does MS do to your face? What's common is, and I don't know if I say this word correctly because it's a medical term, trigeminal, trigeminal neuralgia is common in multiple sclerosis. It may feel like a stabbing or burning sensation on the side of your face. People who don't have MS sometimes have the neuralgia, but more common with multiple sclerosis. Okay. And if I was in a room and they, were speaking of this and said, everybody, who experiences, raise your hand, I go for this one. Okay. I do, and I have experienced the burning sensation, the tingling sensation before I was diagnosed. I had an issue with my face. It just came on one day. I was at work. It didn't make me feel sick or anything. And then my lips felt really greasy and I kept wiping them. I was like, man, I don't have no lip gloss on. And it crept up my face within 4 days. It just went from my lips across here up a little ways to the touch. My face felt tingly. But just the touch, everything was just off, like 90% off. It was bad. I felt okay, but I had that sensation of my lips just felt like grease was on them, and it was just a weird feeling. I didn't feel anything besides when I touched my face, and I still have this. Not as bad, but when I do this and touch here, ooh, my left side feels like static. My lips too. If I touch them, I could put on lip gloss, lipstick, and stuff like that. And the pressure of the lipstick and stuff, that doesn't bother me. But if I barely swipe my finger over my lip, I feel like I'm being like tickled with static. Yeah, and it's an irritating feeling. But um I have that, and I've had it for 5.5 years. It has not went away. Um and I guess because we don't touch our face, so much. So I don't know exactly if it's changed, besides washing my face in the morning stuff. Some days my face is more irritated because I wear glasses. So sometimes, that spot over my nose and right here, it gets really sensitive, like irritated, like because the glasses sit there. So my face definitely plays a part in my with the role of MS, definitely. Um, And I experience, because it says that, and my answers were, I get a sharp pain. Sometimes it's dull and it creeps up to sharp, stabbing pain in my left ear. Okay, that's also a part too of MS. Never the right. Never the right. And I guess I'm grateful for that, because I already have deficits on the left, so that's the side that I'm more affected by with everything, but I don't. I can't. Yeah, I guess I can say I'm glad it's not on both sides. I do suffer weakness though on my legs from right and left, but the left more so. The right side too, but I'm still stronger on my right side than I am my left side. My left side sometimes feels just dead, and sometimes with my left leg, I don't feel it. Yesterday I was sitting on the bed and I looked at my leg, and it was bent in towards me a little bit, and I looked at it and I was like, damn, I don't even feel my leg. Like it's, and that I kind of experienced. That wasn't the first time, you know, but there had been a time. Let me scoot up a little bit. There had been a time, 2 years, maybe now three, maybe three, because I've been on the Kesimpta a year, over a year. Um, and yeah, it's been about that long. And I couldn't even walk. I didn't have, my brain wasn't, my legs weren't registering. I was in the hospital and I had to, go through the treatment. I had to go to PT in the hospital, and I was on a walker, and, all those groovy things. And um, thank God, though, man, that within days I was back walking. It took a minute, though, from the hospital home, um, to actually get that feeling back of that I'm connected to my legs. It was a scary time for me. Really, 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 really scary. That's never happened again. I have had really bouts though of weakness, and not, almost feel like my legs are fumbling, and you warriors probably out there can relate. Um, so that is definitely, a part of my issues with the MS. But um and numbness, of course, tingling, a lot of us warriors suffer from that. That's very common with multiple sclerosis, because if the MS affects our nerves, so we're going to have that wherever, on our body, where our damage is. That's why I'm going to speak with my neurologist, and set up an appointment, and have him go over my MRIs with me, probably from the last, I would say I want to review the last 3 years, and you know put that down on paper. And I'm going to do research and find out if the nerve damage for that particular spot, what happens, what becomes of that area, because damage is damage. And when it causes, so word damage comes here in our neck and our spine, but it affects, our legs, it affects our limbs, it affects a lot of stuff, our swallowing, our speech, um, our concentration. It causes brain fog. They call cog fog and all that stuff. So, and what becomes of that? What becomes of the things that we cannot fix? Like, we can do strengthening for our muscles, of course, our legs, our core, and our arms and stuff. But what becomes of those areas that are affected by the nerve damage? You know, so I want to know more about that within myself. And my doctor will give me all the information, just like your doctor will too. So find out where your damage is in your brain, your neck, and your spinal cord, and know what is the possibilities of your symptoms that you do have are coming from what what areas. At least I want to know. Let's see. Um, I've experienced the tingling of the touch, of course, of my face and its static in my lips. I explained to you guys, with that. Um, Now says, can multiple sclerosis make you feel weird? And I almost had to research that and be like, what do you mean? It's the questions that people ask and they give medical answers. So, it's just how it's written. Um, Weird to me is not feeling myself, you know. So, and it depends on who, I guess, how you're wording it. What do they mean by feel weird? But altered sensations are fairly common, it says, in multiple sclerosis. And this is their definition of feeling weird. I can relate to that when it's just said, can multiple sclerosis make you feel weird, especially head wise? You know, Definitely, yes. I know it makes my body feel weird. That's for sure. You know, um, with the sensations, with the hurting, the muscle spasms, them damn spasms, guys. And my medicine is not working. The baclofen for me, the last two times I've had to take it, it's not working. And today I'm okay. Thank God. So, moving on. Um, So, uh, I hate when I lose my place. Okay, so the weirdness, and it's called they're calling it altered sensations, are fairly common in multiple sclerosis. You might feel pins and needles, burning or crawling sensations, numbness, and tightness. These unusual sensations are a type of neuropathic pain. Okay. Again, I'm in the back of the class raising my hand because, um, lo and behold, yeah, I experienced this. Um, I always have since the diagnosis, and I probably did even before my relapse. Um, and a lot of times when I'm doing reads and research, I reflect back, putting the pieces to my puzzle together. And everything pretty much fits years before my diagnosis. Okay. So, um, my answer to this is my predominant crazy sensations are always feeling like something is crawling on me. And that makes me have a look of panic, thinking, oh shit, is there a spider on me? And I look and it's like, okay, nothing there. And it usually happens on my arm, from here to here, from here to here, really nowhere else. Before I had it though, on my legs, it just, felt like there was something crawling. So I'm sure a lot of you, MS warriors, experience the same things. I hear it a lot. I see it a lot. I'm affected by it too. So and that's like a pain in the butt. It's like, okay, look and say, okay. And I always and I know that nothing's there, so I don't scratch. I just wipe my arm because, um, it'll stop on its own. So I don't give it that much attention, and it doesn't stay. And of course nothing's there, so I haven't been bitten, so it's not going to itch. So I just give it a wipe to kind of like rid of that sensation. I don't know if it helps, but that's our natural reaction. If we feel something on our skin, we grab it and wipe it or whatever. um but I definitely have those too. So I'm raising my hand always with this kind of stuff. So even a couple years before I was diagnosed with, um, I noticed that I could drop a dime or a penny on my left foot and it hurt like a son of a gun. You know how Peter Griffin, when he gets hurt, he keeps doing, doing that over and over again. That's me when something falls on my foot, just the top of my foot, and it hurts bad, like really, really bad. And I'm like, what the frick can
Um,
this be?
just FYI,
Hmm.
um, because this is Shit Talking Sundays. Um, when stuff drops on anybody's foot, it hurts. I'm just saying. I'm not sure that you didn't take that into consideration, but I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out to you that if you drop anything on your foot that's heavy and it hits your foot, it's gonna make you go.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, so please don't use that as an excuse because
not
that
a
is not
penny.
even. eh, okay, well, it depends on how far up it would drop from and how it hit.
Not for,
You know.
believe you me,
Hey,
believe you me.
okay, I missed that part. I'm just saying. I just heard the if something falls on your foot, it hurts, and I was like, okay,
No.
tell us something we don't know. So anyway, go back to what you were saying. My bad.
It's okay. It's
Because
okay.
every day is Shit Talking Sundays. And if you
Yep.
haven't liked, share, subscribe, or hit that notification button, we trying to grow just like you guys are trying to grow. So you know,
Yes,
but
yes.
everybody
Hit
keep
those
in mind,
buttons.
this is in the light of an MS warrior. She's telling you her journey uh, with multiple sclerosis. Uh, if you have a story that you want to share, chime in. Maybe we can invite you on a show. Um,
Definitely.
each one teach one, share one, and you just never know. Something that you're going through might help another person. We're trying to grow this into a big community of warriors where you guys can help each other out and,
Hmm.
see where it goes.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Spread
Back
the
to what
love.
you were saying.
Share, compare, and support, guys. That's what it's all about. Now, AG, because you said that, the old time commercials where the cat is upstairs and the bird is down below, and he throws the anvil out the window and splats the ground, and the bird flies off. Okay, so I
No,
got that in my.
that's an old person
It's,
cartoon or commercial or something. I wouldn't know about that. That's for you old folks. Most of the Shit Talking Sunday fans, they're probably going, But you know what? Just to move this along faster, I'll just go ahead and agree with you. Yeah.
yeah, uh-huh, yeah, sure. Yeah, so um and I'm sure you warriors out there can relate. I mean, I my left foot is so friggin' sensitive, and it's where the right side of my head, when I brush my hair, oh, it's so sensitive. Like yeah, please don't pull my hair, that kind of sensitive. And it's like, oh my God, even when I'm brushing my own hair, I'm like, oh my God, it's painful. So this feel weird, and how the nerves affect, your everyday life. Um, it's something else. It really is. I'm affected daily um from some type of nerve issue. Oh, and don't let me put my hand in hot water, like hot water, doing dishes, the hot water is here he is
Once,
again.
once again, if we put our hands in hot water, it burns. Yes, yes, yes. Come on. You can't use these excuses. Anyway, but yeah, my bad. My bad. I'm just trying to point out facts today.
Oh no,
I guess I'm feeling
we like
funny.
to laugh. The audience, don't you guys like to laugh? Yeah, you come
I
here
mean,
on Tuesday, you get a little information, and you get a comedy show at the same time. Hey, you can't beat that. Hey, and the good thing is, it's for free.
free
Push that like
93.
button, guys.
I mean, It is free. Wink, wink. But if you would like to make a donation to the cause, there is a link in the description where you could actually make a contribution if you want to. But I mean, it's not required. We do this just because we want to share the love, spread the love, and show some love. Stephanie, you're more than welcome to come on the show because, hey, I'd like to make fun of you too. I don't know you, but you know what? You seem like somebody I can make fun of.
That's my bestie.
Oh, well, then I definitely know because birds of a feather flock together. Jason Taylor, you missed out earlier. We gave you a shout out saying thanks for chiming in on one of our other podcasts. So
yes,
out.
Yes, definitely we did. Hi, Jason. Hi, Stephanie. Good evening, everyone in Lon Hardin. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yeah,
that's
you guys.
Reverend Lon Hardin out of Effingham County. He is the head pastor. Like Pastor Greenleaf.
Oh yeah,
on that show.
Yeah.
Pastor Harding. That's Pastor Harding out of Effingham County. He's missionary. Well, is it I forgot, but it's a Missionary Baptist Church in Effingham County. I think it's something like that.
Welcome to the live.
Yes, everybody. Welcome.
Yes, Jason, we did shout out you. I seen you. I should have said, hey, I'm jealous because you're over on his podcast. It wasn't my podcast that day. But anyhow, yes.
Wait. Now remember, I have no clue. What Stephanie looks like. But she says, oh, I love the clown. So let's get it started. And just to let you know,
that's another show.
You already got the makeup on, so I guess you're already dressed up.
Oh, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. AG is a wonderful person. And he takes his skills and his time out of his life and his day to spread awareness. Because I'm his friend, and he knows I suffers from MS, and he wanted to be part of that journey with me. So thank you, AG. Yes, Jason, he's a terrific guy to know. So guys,
also, if there's anybody out there that has MS and they're having trouble getting some life insurance, because I know that could be a little challenging, reach out to the link below, AG Life Agency, and I'm sure we can find you something. Okay, that's my little, I guess, side job. This is the one I want to make full time, but right now this is my part time, and that's the full time. AG Life Agency. They're our unofficial sponsor.
Right. Okay, guys. So back to that feeling of my answers with
I got love for you, Steph. Just saying. we're just kidding.
With the sensations and stuff like that. Not only is the top of my foot is so sensitive to drop, something that of course, if you drop something too heavy, of course it's going to hurt regardless. But no, I'm talking light things, soft things hurt. And you guys know they're called slides nowadays. The slides, the beach shoes, you slip your foot in and they just got the cover over the top and your toes hang out and you can see half of your foot, front and back. They're called slides, like Nike slides. Shout out to Nike. But I have some, I bought some, and they got the little grooves, just on the inside of the sole, and it's supposed to be soft. Those kill my friggin' feet. Nope, not Crocs. They're a slide. I have Crocs too. They're a slide. It's a Nike slide. It's black, and it has the fuchsia pink, but it has the little grooves inside of the sole. that my foot, and it's soft, it's really really soft, but the pressure on those lines irritate my feet. It literally hurts to where I'm like, ooh, each step. So I don't wear them, but that just goes to tell you how sensitive the bottom of my friggin' foot is on this left side. The right side is bothered a little, but not as bad as the left. So I'm so on that train for the sensation issues. Um, Not only the face, the hand, and the foot, the leg, predominantly on my left. I do have some on my right, but not as bad. This left side is like poor Tink Tink, it suffers. So, but yeah, so the slide thing, the grooves, leaves my foot sore, like a sore feeling, and it's like, wow, it's really, really affected like that. So, and of course, I can relate to this one. Have you guys, in my MS community, have you guys heard of zingers? Not the food, the snack, zingers, not those. Well, they're called zingers or stingers. And again, if the teacher said, any of you guys suffer from zingers and stingers, please raise your hand. Well, me in the back row, I'm waving my hand again because I'm I experienced this and it friggin' hurts. Um, that takes me back to the feeling, that sharp pain that I get in my ear. And I get that randomly, and I would say frequently, um, not so much shock, Jason. Well, it's like a pain. I if I'm not sure what you mean by shock, but I get this electric shock feeling if my leg is up and I bend my head down, almost as if like a nerve, something's going on with the nerve when I bend my left leg and bend my head down at the same time. It or even reaching my left arm back to scratch and I bend my head down. Yes, like electric shock. I get that. When I had a relapse, on my first relapse and diagnosis, that electric shock was, oh man, it was full fledged, just zapping me. And as I was sitting in the emergency room, um, because I thought I was having a stroke, I left the PetSmart with my family because my arm froze up and I had a claw, so they got me to the hospital. As I was sitting there, as those electric shocks were happening, my left leg was kicking out from under me. Yeah, I was embarrassed, but I didn't care. I was so sick at that point. I started to feel really sick as that was happening, and that was my diagnosis. But so those are called, they call them, reference them to zingers or stingers. And those, they say zingers are common, shocking, burning, squeezing, stabbing, cold or prickly feeling out of nowhere. People call them zingers and stingers. These zaps, they come out of nowhere and usually last only seconds or minutes. They often affect your legs, feet, arms, and hands. I get them, and I can relate this zap thing, stinger thing to the ear. It's in my left, only my left side, but lately I've been having them in my left foot. Now, you guys remember these last couple of weeks, I've been telling you my left side, my leg has been acting up, and my foot feels like I broke something in my foot. Well, I've been getting those zingers in uh, my second toe to the end next to my pinky toe, and it makes you grab your foot. That's how bad it comes on. It's like almost, and you're not expecting it, of course, so it makes you grab that area like, oh, like ouch, like what the frig is going on. So
You know what's so
I
crazy?
hmm,
I get those too for my concussion.
do
If
you?
if I turn my head a certain way and I cough or I sneeze, I'll get a
Oh,
shooting pain that goes up my head into the top of my brain.
oh yeah.
Do I have
Oh
MS?
no, you just got nerve damage probably from your concussion, most likely.
Oh.
You better talk to your doctor. I can't give you medical advice. But no,
I
that
was
is,
just testing you to see if you was going to give me medical advice. See how that
see
works,
you
everybody
guys.
out there? See, this is not
See?
medical advice. This is just one MS warrior's journey with
Mhm.
uh multiple sclerosis, and she's just
Yeah.
sharing it with you. So remember, this is not medical advice. I was testing her to see if she was going to give me some medical advice. It's not.
Yeah.
Consult with your
Yeah.
doctor, and that was the proper answer. So back to our show.
Yay. I passed, guys. So he can, right? But so yeah, those can catch you off guard. They are painful and it makes you think like when it's happening, you hold that area and you're like, okay, what's going to happen next? Why is this hurting like this? And that's why it's really important and to know like why would your body be experiencing the things that we're experiencing? Well, we know we have MS, but how do we know it's the MS? Because it could be something else. So it's good to know. And I can't wait to see my neurologist explain to me what my lesions are and where they're at and what part of the body affects. Now, I know I have something not so nice right back here in my neck. And I can't really explain everything, but it's in an area. I got some damage there in an area that controls my um, breathing, my lungs. So that I do know, and that's why it's so important to know um, where your nerve damage is, where it's affects your body, so that way you know, and maybe do something to help help out your situation, knowing that when you are hit with something, that symptom, you know how to deal with it. Take for instance, just because I forget about that, it's a lesion there, and I read it on the report. My doctor read it to me during diagnosis. um and I forgot what it's called. It's a bunch of medical terms, but I suffer from um breathing, not getting enough air in sometimes. And I can stop what I'm doing, stop talking, stop moving, and just chill and breathe in through my mouth. Breathing in through my nose doesn't do it. I can't get caught up with getting enough intake in. But if I breathe heavily in through my mouth, then it gets me caught up on air. I don't know what really, usually you're supposed to blow, breathe in through your nose, exhale through your mouth. That doesn't work. I've tried it so many times and I just don't get enough in quickly enough when I'm having I don't want to call them episodes. Um Sometimes they're more prevalent than other times. Um if I'm upset and I'm arguing with someone or something, trying to talk real fast, I'm out of breath. I get out of breath. If I'm trying to move around and talk too much, I get out of breath quickly. And then, of course, I've got some shadow in my right lung, in the middle of my right lung, that I still have to take care of. So there's a couple of reasons, with me with the breathing thing that could be causing it. So again, knowing your body, knowing what's affected, where your damage is important. Um, you know, it can explain a lot why your body's reacting the way that it does with MS. Okay, so that's what the zingers. Feet, and it says feet, legs, arms, and hands. Okay, so what I have a fun fact. Um, it says women with MS outnumber the men with MS by 4 to 1. Wow, that's a even though when you hear 4 to 1, you don't think it's a big margin, but it's a big margin considered. you know, how many people out there have MS? There's a lot. Um, and it says women's immune system work differently from men's. Specifically, women are more likely to develop an autoimmune disease. In fact, 7 in 10 people with autoimmune disease are women. That's a fun fact, guys. Did you know that? I knew women are more susceptible than men, but put like this, and it's put as autoimmune disease, and that's it's not just stricken to MS. So they're saying women overall are more susceptible to autoimmune disease, lupus. There's other things, under that telescope that's autoimmune. So, and another one more fun fact: patients are not born with MS. MS. You nor I were born with MS. Clinically proven. Um, so if you didn't know, or if somebody's wondering, or if you're watching my channel, following it because your loved one, your husband or your wife has MS, or your brother or sister, and you didn't know, or you want to know, how that person, came down with MS. No one is born with it. There's a lot a few different factors. What part of the United States you live in? People in warmer climates, there's a higher case um, with multiple sclerosis than others. So North America is one of them, actually. But I believe I want to say Canada has the most cases. I believe as of 2016 or 2018. Um, but um, and this is a little share with you guys, because you guys know I love to spread um, information that I come across and that it's legitimate, and I share it with you because spreading awareness and support is everything. That's why I do what I do, and I give you guys me the raw. I don't sugarcoat anything, and I'm so delighted to be able to pass on information to someone else that doesn't have the means. There's a lot of our elder community that aren't tech savvy or computer literate, so they can't get on like we can. And our, the younger generation and myself get on and Google and learn and find resources. So I love passing on information. And it rung a bell with me today to share, and it's just a smidge, but I see a lot of warriors talking about they're afraid of leaving their jobs, and what do they do? They're afraid to talk to anyone, but they feel like they're drowning and they're suffering at work from of being overwhelmed. It zaps you, let alone getting up early and having to articulate your day and just move around and focus. I get tired, fatigue tired, just by focusing here in my home every day. So I can imagine, and which I suffer from too. That's why I can't go out on outings and be out too long. It's too much to intake for my brain. The intake it hurts. It's too much, and that's when I start to shut down, because it makes me feel really really ill. It's almost like, if remember that spoon theory. It's almost like that, like how many spoons you have for the day. When I go on an outing, it's about, and it depends where I'm at, what's the temperature, am I, in big crowd, because that's more attention that I pay to. The more going on, that takes more energy. So I'm good in a controlled, really a minimal controlled environment that's really really small, about 3 hours, four tops. um so things play in effect to why do I have to use so much energy in certain things that I do. it affects me, and it probably affects other warriors too, because that's still energy. Our vision, you wouldn't think just seeing and looking affects us, but it does. It affects me greatly. It really does. So, your eyes get tired too. And I wear glasses, so my eyes affect my head a lot. So, but any hoot, um, uh, the information to spread on to those warriors who are still working but struggling and keep their job because of you try and keep your job because um, of you're afraid of losing your job to your illness, multiple sclerosis. So just a little just a little smidge of information if you didn't know, because I see a lot of people asking these questions. um, it, the Social Security Administration recognizes multiple sclerosis as a chronic illness or impairment that can cause disability severe enough to prevent an individual from working. Okay, so they do recognize it. I'm on it. um, so I know for a lot of you warriors out there, losing your job and having to be set on a fixed income, um, nowadays, especially, people build lives. They have mortgages, car payments, life insurance. Shout out to AG Life Insurance. If you guys need your life insurance, please contact AG. And so we have so much financials going on. Of course, when you're healthy and you're making that money, and then something when you're hit, bam, like I was, I didn't know, just one day, bam, stricken, went to the hospital, man, you have MS. Okay. So, it's devastating to people's lives, and it changes our lives in a 180. But just for you to know that there is Social Security, they do recognize MS. Um, it may not give you the income that you are making on your job, but it is something. Or your Social Security that you've paid into your job that's paid into Social Security just may be, the blanket that you may need to help you make a decision on, to continue working or continue not. Okay. So that was my little piece of uh share the goodness info to you guys. Um and if I've said this many times on here, and I tell people this all the time. Every time, you guys remember I say this, every time I'm in public and I mention my disease, that person says, "Oh, I too have an aunt who suffers with multiple sclerosis." This just happened to me 2 days ago. We've been out car SUV shopping, and Mike at the dealer. Um, I was there on my scooter. I wasn't feeling good, and well, I had to get this done. So I was like, Larry took me out there. We needed to get our errands done, and I was in my scooter, and so we were talking about what kind of vehicle that I needed and why. And I told him I had multiple sclerosis. He goes, "Oh, really?" He said, "My sister-in-law has multiple sclerosis and does infusions." And I was like, "Really?" I said, "Wow." Every time I mention my disease to someone, they know someone who is stricken. So that's crazy. MS, guys, people are out there suffering with this invisible disease. It's talked about more and more and more, but you don't know, because if you were to look at me now, I don't look sick. So you don't know who's standing next to you in the grocery store, in the movie line, in the theater, at the next gas pump, um, that they're stricken with a chronic illness like MS. You just don't know. So I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick. And um, before I close out the show tonight, I just wanted to mention a little update on my dad. Um, he goes tomorrow. We were given a positive cancer biopsy, um, angiocarcinoma, and my dad had this mole here on his nose. I have a small one too, and I get it from him. But over the years, all my life, I remember him having a mole here. Well, it has grown, and we took him in to do a biopsy last week, and it came back positive for basal cell cancer. Um, that's the lesser of the evil with the skin cancers. Melanoma is harder to fight, and that came out negative, and they can remove this mole on the tip of his nose and have a high success rate of removing it all. It's different from than melanoma. Melanoma spreads fast and it goes all over. Basal cell does not, even though you can have another mole or something pop up and it be basal cell, but that's it's lesser of the evil. So that he's going to be scheduled to have this removed, and also this next week um, we speak to a lung cancer doctor to discuss. We've been told that he is a candidate for an oral treatment. If these blood checks come back, we go tomorrow. We take him to go have these um, special blood tests done to see if he's truly a candidate. They think he is thus far. They want some more blood work on him. And I just seen a commercial the other night for the first time ever about oral treatment for cancer. And I was like, wow, ain't that terrific? And then I think it was like 2 days later, I get the phone call, discussing with the doctor, um, possibly a treatment plan. So um, if you can please say a little prayer for him. This is a trying time for him, for us. Nobody likes to hear that word, and he's got a lot going on. My dad's 82 years old, and all the prayers um are needed. Strength comes in numbers. So if you guys can, please say a little prayer for him. I appreciate it. Your warrior girl appreciates it. So that's it for me tonight, guys. Thank you guys for being here with me this evening. I just gave you a little peek into my life with my symptoms, some of the symptoms, and I'm sure you guys share a smidge of that with me too. And just know that your warrior girl is always thinking about my warrior community, and always sending those good warrior vibes out to you guys. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Jason. You guys know the drill, and it's free and easy to do. So please share my videos. The more warriors we reach, the more positivity, the more we can share, compare, and support. But I can't do it alone. I need you guys with me to do so. And always press that like button to show, hey, we like what you guys are doing. Keep it up. Okay, guys. So until then, take care of yourselves, because if you don't, AG,
Who will?
exactly.
Who? You know what? Uh, yeah. If you don't take care of yourself, the only people that will are me, myself, and I. So remember that.
Yeah, that's three. You got three people backing you.
No, it's not 3 people on my side. And if you include my doggies, I got 5.
All right.
My family, everybody.
Right.
I got a big family, man. I'm all right.
Good.
Everybody, yeah, we went over a little bit today. Not that we have a time limit, but you know what? It's always good to sit back, discuss. You know, life stories in regards to what you're going through with your multiple sclerosis. If anybody has any medical issues and they want to share it with us, reach out. We're interested to hear your journey. MS
Yep.
isn't the
Yes.
only warriors out there. Uh, there's all kinds of warriors out there suffering from something, and maybe um, your story might help somebody and keep
Someone
them from
else's. Yeah.
jumping off
So,
the roof.
sometimes it's just conversation. When someone is suffering now, I've been here, done that. Suffering from depression years ago, and I wasn't saying anything. Soon as I spoke to someone about it and let it off, it felt like a weight lifted. As it made me feel like, okay, people know now I'm not alone. I'm not suffering by myself. So a lot of people out there don't have that support system. So it could just take a few
Mhm.
minutes in conversation to change the direction of somebody's mindset and their heart, actually. So it's
Mhm.
important. It's very important.
Yep, yep. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Shit Talking Sundays in the light of the MS Warrior.
That's
Matter of
me.
fact,
That's me.
that's CC, the MS Warrior. We're getting a little bit more technical out here and more precise on who we are and who she
Yes.
is. So,
Look me up.
um,
Look me up.
next week, same time, same place. Be
That's
there, be
right.
square. In the light of a warrior, I'm AG the Dad. Pay it forward always, and keep your visions positive, and always keep positive people around you, because negativity grows. So, with that being said, I'm out. Peace.
Good night. Thank you.
Sunday morning drama is calling up my mama. Drama. Drama.